only on the XPath and the CSS classes, in-depth classes we will learn. Right. Why we need to, right? Let me start. Let me share my screen. Okay. Why we need to use, right, locators? Right. We know that if you want to identify any web element of the application, any element on the web application, to identify, we require a locators. Right. We have 8 types of locators. We already everyone knows, I think. Right. We have a by ID, name, class name, then tag name, link test, person link. Right. And then we have XPath and CSS. These 8 types of locators are used to identify the elements. But first 6 are, it's very easy, straightforward and easy. Everyone can do it. Only right, some other people will feel complex here, XPath and CSS, to write the XPath and CSS. So in today's class, we'll see XPath and tomorrow's class, we'll see CSS. Right. We'll start with the XPath. Right. Okay, fine. Right. What is an XPath? Right. What is an XPath? Right. It's like a XML path language. It's a query language. If you want to navigate through the elements in the either in XML or HTML. In Selenium point of view, we will HTML DOM. We'll call it as HTML DOM. What is HTML DOM? Right. If it go to any application, any web application, and open any site, right? If we inspect, right click inspect, this is the HTML DOM. Right. This is called a HTML DOM, document object model. Right. To navigate through the elements, XML will be used. This XPath. Right. There are in XPath there are a lot of different types of combinations, and right we will see all those things. We'll start with the basic. We'll go to the in-depth of it. Right. Okay. But in XPath also there are a different. Mostly we have 2 types of XPath. Right. One is the absolute XPath. One is the relative XPath. To identify any element, suppose if you take this as a username, to identify this element, we can use either absolute XPath or relative XPath. Right. What is absolute XPath? Suppose to identify this element. Right. How we will identify? First, we have to open the developer console. Right. To identify this is the input. Right. If you right click inspect, we will go to that element. Or you can here arrow mark is there. You can click on it and then click on which element we want to inspect. Right. Either directly you can right click and inspect, or arrow mark and click on which element you want to identify the locator. Right. Either way it will work. Then if I want to identify this element, we can identify in 2 ways. One is the absolute XPath or relative XPath. What is the absolute XPath? Absolute XPath means we have to come from the root element. What is the root element of any element? If you take, what is the root element? Root element is the HTML. Usually how the HTML structure will be, HTML will have head and body. HTML high level HTML, what developers they will write mostly, it will have a head and body. Right. It will have head and body. In head they will write mostly scripts. They will load the CSS scripts. CSS scripts means style sheets, because if you want, every element will have some styles. They will apply some styles. That's why these elements looks right very good. Right, they will apply some colors. They will apply borders. Right, some logics. Right, those are all will be there in this scripts. We no need to worry about it. And that body will contain actual elements of the application. Right. Coming to now, if we want to identify through absolute XPath, we have to come from HTML. We have to start from HTML. HTML, then body, then div. Right. We have to follow each and every. How to get the absolute XPath. Right. You can right click on the element. All right. This is the element we want to identify. So right click on it, copy full XPath. Copy full XPath. Right. Copy full XPath. So see, this is the absolute XPath. Right. We can how to identify this is correct or not. Right. In the HTML here elements tab only, Control F, and then it will open the here one box. Right. You can paste here. Right. Then it will show you. Right. Same element it is identified. Here it shows one of one. Right here. That means one element is identified by using this XPath. Right, this is the absolute XPath. But right, we will not follow this one. Why? Right, it will also identify element, but we will not follow this approach because this is more brittle XPaths. That means there is a chance of right more chances to break the XPath. That means today it may work, tomorrow it will fail. There are more chances to fail the locators. Then if we write absolute XPath, our scripts will always 90% of the times will fail. Right? We have to spend a lot of time to fix the locators itself. So we will not follow. Why we will not to write this absolute XPath? Right? Because it is following from the root node. So there is a more chance as a developers in future, right? They will add new elements. That means whenever they will add new elements, this path will change automatically. In middle, they will suppose in middle they will add some other div tag. It will fail, or any input tag, any other thing. Right? If they remove, suppose if they update, remove, right, add any new tags, it will always fail. So there is more chances of failing test cases. So we will not follow 100%. We will not follow this absolute XPath. Right. Only we will follow relative XPath. Right. Only relative XPath. Right. What is relative XPath? Relative XPath will start from any right. Relative. How to write the first of all? If you know the relative XPath, then you will understand. Right. It will start from anywhere. Relative XPath will start from anywhere. That means mostly to identify same element. To identify the same element using relative XPath. Suppose. Right. What is the first of all we should know the syntax of the X relative X. Right. A relative XPath will start from the slash slash. Right. A relative XPath will start from the slash slash and then tag name. What is tag name? Maybe you have already idea. Here, whatever it is showing, this is div tag is the tag name. Form is the tag name. Input is the tag name. Right. These are all the tag names. Tag name is the element which starts with some name. Alright, this P is the tag name. Right, this is the tag name. Right, we have to give right tag name. Then at the rate we have to square brackets. Right, open and close square brackets. At the rate tag name equal to single quotes, either single quotes or double quotes. Mostly we'll use single quotes only. Right. I'm sorry. Here at the rate attribute name. right? Not tag. The attribute name and then equal to single quotes the attribute value we have to provide. What is attribute name? What is attribute name? What is attribute value? Right. Each tag, right? Suppose if we take this input tag, right here, class is the attribute, one attribute, and then this is the attribute value. Name is the attribute, username is the attribute value. Class placeholder is the attribute. Right. These are all the attributes and attribute values. By using these attributes, we can identify the locators uniquely. Right. This is the relative XPath syntax. Right. If we are using relative XPath, there are very less chances to fail test cases, or it will right. Usually it will not change. Absolute XPath, very brittle XPaths. Right. There are most chances to fail the test cases. But relative XPaths are very less. Very rare cases only it will change. Right. So always we will follow relative XPath only. Always we will follow relative XPath only. Right. To identify simply any element, we will follow the syntax of it. Slash slash tag name, square brackets at the rate attribute name, that is attribute value. Now suppose to identify this username, right? This is the right. This is the input. So to identify this, right? How to write the just control F. Right. Just try to write your own. Don't use right initially. Right. Don't use. There is a different plugins will be available to identify automatically locators. Right. If you do that in interview, suddenly they will ask. Definitely they will ask. They will open some website ask to write the XPath. Identify how you will identify this element. Right. We will face issues. So always try to write own. Right, open the developer console and write the locator so that we will get enough knowledge. Right, in interviews, it's easy to clear it. So, okay, slash slash. Suppose if I want to identify this input by using what is the tag name? What is the tag name? Input. Right, what is the tag name? Input. Then what attributes it has? Right, what attributes it has? It has name, placeholder. These two are unique. These two are unique locators. That means no other locators will have these attributes. So we have to choose the unique attributes. If we choose the duplicate attributes, we will get multiple elements. It will identify multiple elements. Suppose slash slash input. Just if I give slash slash input, how many are identified? Here, if you see in the right side, one of three. That means three elements are identified. So it should be always, whenever we will write any locator, it should be always one of one. We have to make sure it should be one of one. Right. Then input, we can give what is the syntax at the rate. We can give attribute, unique attribute. Name is the unique attribute. We can take name equal to what is the syntax? The equal single quotes, either single quotes or double quotes. Mostly we'll use single quotes. Then what is the value? Username. Right. What is the value? Username. Let's see, it is identified uniquely. So it is showing one of one. If you press enter button, see in the website also we can see it is identified. That will element will highlight. Right, that element is a highlight so that we can make sure, okay, this is the correct element, it is identified. So this is the basic syntax, right? How to identify the element by using relative XPath, how to identify. Right, in the syntax also we will have multiple things. It will relative XPath can start from anywhere on the page because we are using slash slash. It will start from anywhere. and specifies which element, tag name specifies which element to find. Either it is an input tag or label or p tag or div tag, whatever it may be. Then we will use a square bracket that is called a predicates. Use it to find the nodes or node with a specific value. That is a predicates. We will call it as a square brackets as a predicate. And then we will use a attribute, either ID, class, name, anything. Then we will use the this one we will see later. Node context we will see later. Okay. Slash and double slash. Right. This will also we will see in the another topic. This slash and slash. Currently, right, we don't require. This the just a sample explanation of that what XPath will contain. Right. CSS will see tomorrow. We'll see only XPath only. What are the different ways we can identify? Okay. Come to this is just we have seen what is the basic syntax slash slash tag name at the rate attribute. We have to give single quotes well. Right, suppose okay, there are multiple things. First we'll say okay. By using name, any attribute we can identify the element. Right, we can also use multiple attributes. Sometimes what will happen with a single attribute we cannot identify. With single attribute we cannot identify the element directly. Sometimes we want to use multiple attributes. We want to use multiple. Suppose here to replicate that scenario, what I will do, I will see class. Just if I give class this oxd hyphen input. Okay, I think it we have to give entire thing, then only it will. Okay, suppose I have given like this class equal to this entire class value. Now what is happened? Two are identified. Two input tags are identified. Right. Two input tags are identified because username password both have same class. So two are identified. So by combining another attribute, right? By combining how to combine, I can use R or and. Right. If we take a and then suppose I will use a one more attribute name at the rate name equal to single quotes user name. Okay. Okay, fine. Right. This is by using AND operator, we can combine multiple attributes so that we can identify uniquely. Now it is one of one. So by using AND operator, AND means what? What we are telling here, identify the element which has a input. We are telling here what this XPath means. Identify the element input tags which has a class attribute, this one, and name attribute, this one. Whichever input tag which has both, the input tag which has both, identify that element. Suppose if we use the OR, right, it will identify two elements because OR means what? We are telling identify the input tags which has attribute to either class this one or name this one. We are telling either anyone. If input tag which contains anyone, identify all those elements. Right. That means very careful while using the R. And means it should contain both. The tag which contains both attributes, it will identify. Right. That is the by combining multiple attributes, we can add any number of attributes. Here we have combined. I have used two attributes. You can use three attributes, four attributes. right? Any number of attributes we can add. Right, this is how we can combine multiple attributes in the XPath. Right, there are coming to little bit advanced. Right, we can use sometimes text nodes to identify the text nodes. Right, we will use a contains. Either text nodes, mostly we will use for text nodes or attributes. Sometimes what will happen, dynamic attributes will come. Right, sometimes dynamic attributes like suppose this attribute sometimes what will happen, starts attribute will have suppose id will start with something user, and then here dynamic some number will generate every time browser is opened. Starting position will be fixed, ending position will be dynamic. Right, sometimes starting position will be dynamic, ending position will be fixed. Right, sometimes the start and end position will change, only middle position will be dynamic. Right, these type of locators also will be there sometimes. Right, to identify these type of elements, dynamic elements, then we will go with the contents. Right, contents we can use with either text or attributes. We can use with anyone. Right, we'll see. Okay. Suppose here we are using in the class entire thing. Right, here in the class we are using entire thing, but I want to use only this part or only this part. All right, I don't want to use the entire value. Then if we use only this one, it will not identify. Right, it will not identify. In that case, what we will do? Right, in that case, what we will do? We will use the contains. Right, contain. Here we can write the contains. Open the parenthesis and close the parenthesis after the value. After the value, is that correct? What I'm giving syntax? Right, contains id comma. Okay, here see we have to use the instead of equal. This is the small mistakes we will do. We have to use the comma. Attribute comma attribute value. Contains is like a function, like a Java method. Right, these are the attribute method arguments. Here two arguments we have to pass. One is the key, attribute value. Right, contains which attribute we want, and then here we can give the value. So now it is identified two elements. Right, contains. Contains means what? This attribute will contain this one. Right, it should contain this one, OXD input. Anywhere, either starting position, end position, middle position, any position. Just it is like a string. Attribute value is a string. It contains anywhere. Starting position, end position, middle position. Contain. We can use with any attribute, either with the placeholder, either with the class, or either with the name. Any attribute we can use. Just we need to give at the rate attribute key and value. Right, contains will right will help a lot. Right, contains. And then we will use starts with. Right, starts with. Starts with means what? What is the difference between contains and starts with? Contains will validate given value, attribute value anywhere, either it is a start position, end position, middle position. But starts with, will work only. It starts with only. Starts with means what? Suppose ID. It will start with the user. Right? Then only it will work. Starts with suppose I am giving user. Then only it will work. Otherwise, it will not work. Suppose I am giving input starts with right ID, then starts with user. Suppose if user is in middle, it will not work. Either middle or end, it will not work. Only it starts with user, then on. It will also useful in multiple types. Right. In this case, contains class. Instead of contains, if I use starts with, it should work because OXD input is the starting position. Right, it will work. But ends with mostly, right, it will not work. It will work only in the, I think something XPath 2, but most browsers will not support this ends with. Right, only starts with and contains only. It will support. Right, contains and starts with. One more important thing, one more important function, normalize space. Right, normalize space. What is normalized space? It will also useful. One more thing is there, right? Text. First of all, you will see text first. Right, what is text? To identify the text nodes. Text will be useful for text nodes. What are text nodes? Suppose I want to identify this username. I want to identify this password. Right, what are all those? Those are also label. It has a label. Then how to identify this label? Right, class will be a duplicate. Right, suppose if I use a class, multiple elements will have same class. Suppose if I use // label at the rate class equal to, I will paste. Right, two elements are identified, same class. So to identify this label, there is a text. Right, there is a text between the label start tag, end tag. Right, HTML tags means how it will be. It will have most of the time start and end tag. Right, it will have a start tag, end tag also. Slash end tag means slash end tag. Suppose if we take any start tag means, suppose if we take a HTML, it will starts with in middle any number of tags it will be there. End is with /HTML. Right, /HTML. Suppose this label, whatever we are identifying label, correct label, it has a in middle text. That means username. This is called a text. Text of that node. Text of that node. This is the text of that node. By using text, we can identify the element. By using this text, we can identify the label. That means by using text, we can identify the elements. So how to do that? Label // label. Here we have to use the text function. Text equal to single quotes. What is the text? This username. What is the text? Username. Right, see, it is identified. Right, one more thing, one more password. Suppose if we take a password, what is the text here? Password. We can give // label square brackets text function equal to password, single quotes password. Right, here, suppose sometimes what will happen? There will be, suppose I will give manually, but right, some space before the password. Right, this text contains space also. Now suppose if you identify, it will not identify 0. Right, then we have to give space manually. Right, tomorrow there may be, it will change it to 2 spaces. It will not work. Our locator will not work. Right, dynamically to identify, I want to remove these spaces. Right, I want to remove these spaces. If spaces are also there, I want to identify the locator. So then we will use this function, normalize -space. Normalize -space. It will remove the spaces before the text or after the text. If we, right, in the application, if it has a spaces before or after, it will remove automatically. Right. how to use for the text? We have to use the normalize space function, open parenthesis until the text. This attribute until this we have to close it. No need to. Sometimes by mistakenly we will close here password after password. It will not work. Right, until text only we have to enclose. That's it. Let's see. It is identified now. There are spaces. Still it is identified. We no need to use. Suppose if you by mistake if you use the space, it will not work. Right. Without space, we have to provide in the locator. Right. It will automatically ignore those spaces. It will identify. Normalize space will ignore the spaces in the text, and it will not only text. If you want to, sometimes in the attributes also, we can also use with the attributes. Suppose if here it is used button text. Right. This is with the button. Right. ID. We can also use the ID, class, attributes also we can use it. Not only text. We can use either text. Mostly we will use with the text. If we want to use with the attributes also we can use it. Right, fine. Right, that is the text and then normalized space. Right now coming to XPath Axes. Right, what is XPath Axes? Right, sometimes we cannot directly identify the elements. Sometimes we cannot directly identify the elements. We have to use by using parent node or child node. We want to use by using parent node or from the child node. We have to take reference of another element. By using that element, we can identify required element. Right. Suppose, right, we will have a structure. Suppose if we take a DOM structure, it will be like a parent and child relationships. Suppose this is the some element div tag. Right, div tag. So it has a child means it will have a multiple like this childs. Right, this is one tag, this is one tag, this is one tag. And also it can have a parents also. Right, above, below one are called childs. Right, above one are called the parent. These are all parent. Right, by using either parent nodes or child nodes, either parent or child nodes, we can identify required element. Here different by using the XPath access, we will call it as a, those are all parent, child, those are all we will call it as XPath access. There are a multiple terminologies will be there. We will have a parent, child, ancestor, that something descendant, that like a following sibling, preceding sibling, that following and preceding siblings. Like this, we will have different terminologies. Parent means we can identify the tag for the, suppose this is the current tag. All the above ones, right? All the above ones are called parent, below ones are called child. But what is ancestors and descendant? Right, all the parent nodes, right? Suppose if we take a one node, it can has a multiple parents. Right, this node can have multiple parents. Suppose this is the parent. This node again will contain, right, one more tag. This is all the parent nodes, all the parent tags is called a ancestors. Right, all the parents are ancestors, and all the Descendant means all the childs. That means suppose this div tag has a below. Again, it can have a childs. Each element will have again childs. Right. All these below, right, these childs are called descendant. All the parents are called right, ancestors and childs are called descendant. But what are siblings? Right. What are siblings? Right. Siblings are like a how to tell easy way. We have a our sister, brother and sisters. Right. We have a brothers and sisters. All are called siblings. That means same level. Right. These are all in same level. These called siblings. These are all called siblings. Right. Siblings. Suppose if I take this element as a reference. Right. Suppose if I take this element as a reference. Right. Sibling will have a above siblings, below siblings. In the DOM structure of it will be siblings. Above will be there some tags, below also some tags. Right. This is a below. This is a below one. That means in the DOM structure how it will be, it will arrange like this. Right. Siblings means it will arrange like this. Right. It will have a one parent. Parent will have these are the three siblings. Right. Suppose if we take this one. Above ones are called preceding siblings. Suppose this is the current node. Above above one are preceding sibling. Below one are following sibling. Right. Above one are preceding sibling. Below one are following sibling. Suppose we will take the real example so that we will identify. Suppose this if I take this form tag. Right. Form tag. Form tag is contains input div. These are all childs. These are all childs. Right. These are all childs for the form tag. And the above ones. Suppose form tag contains this div. Right. If you see this div, this is the parent of this form. Form tag contains a. This is the parent of the form tag. Right. This is called a parent. This inside whatever is there, all are childs. Suppose coming to siblings, these three divs are siblings. Alright. Suppose if we take these three divs are these four all are right. These are all siblings. Right. These are all siblings. Input also. These are all. These are all siblings. That means same level. Right. These are all same level. Suppose if I take this is the current node. This div is the current. The above one is called preceding siblings. Below one are following siblings. Right. How to identify? We'll see. The terminology wise, if I take this is the current node. The above ones are called preceding sibling. Below one are following sibling. Right. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Okay, fine. That is the terminologies we will use in the XPath Axes, parent, child. Mostly we will use parent, child, following sibling, preceding. Ancestor, descendant, very rare cases we will not use. So far I did not use. Right, we don't require those things. Right, ancestor means all the parents. We'll see that also. Ancestor means all the parents, descendant means all the childs. Right, first we'll say the parent. Okay. First, we have to take one node, then form tag. We will identify form tag. Okay. Slash slash form. How many are coming? Only one. Right. Only one. Right. That's good then. Right. Now I want to identify parent of this form. Right. Parent of this form. Right. What is the syntax we have to use? Right. Okay. Syntax is like a First we'll identify the any tag. First we need to identify one node. That is one tag we have to identify. From there, I want to move either upward direction or downward direction. Right. I want to move either upward direction or downward direction. Right. If we want to move above, that means upward direction, we will use the parent. Right. We will use the parent slash parent, and then which tag I want to move, which parent tag I want to move. Right. Slash parent, we have to give the syntax like colon. If I give star, right, it will identify the all the parents. Suppose it has a multiple parents, it will identify. Currently it has only one. So we'll give the div. That means I want to move from this form. This form has a parent like div. I am telling move to div tag, parent div tag. Here we have to give the parent and then double colon, and which tag I want to move. Parent is the div. Right, only immediate parent only it will move. If you give this parent, above parent will not move. Only immediate parent. If I want to move one more level, right? Currently from we navigated here from the form tag. This is the div. Currently we are here. I want to move again from this to this parent. Right? This div parent again. What is this div parent? This one. Again we have to write slash parent colon. If you see star, only one will come always. Parent will be only one. Right, parent. Right, we are moving two levels. Right, but right, this is the how we will move to parent. But there is a shortcut for the parent. Right, instead of writing like this, there is a shortcut. What is that? We can use slash dot. It will move immediate parent. Slash dot. It will move to immediate parent. Again, if I give slash dot, one more parent. If I give slash dot, one more parent. Right, like this slash dot means it will move to parents. It will move to parent tags automatically. We no need to give entire syntax. This is the shortcut for that. Simple, right? Shortcut for that parent. Right, you got it. How to identify the parent. Now, child tags. I want to identify the child tags. Suppose this form tag, I want to identify all the childs. Slash child colon star. Suppose if I give star means how many do this form tag, how many childs it has? 5. Right, input 4 div tags. Right, inside ones it will not identify direct childs. Because we have given single slash. It will identify direct childs. Input div, these divs, 5 tags are there. Suppose if you want to move to particular, suppose I want to move to particular input child. Right, input. We can give the name of it. Star means it will identify all the childs. But if you want to move to particular child, then we have to give that tag name of the child. Suppose if we want to move to particular div, right, identify how many divs are there? 4. But I want a particular div. Then we will see that how to identify that. Right, this is how we can move to child. Right, how to identify the child. Right, for parent also we will have a shortcut. Right, parent means slash dot. But a child slash directly we can give the tag name. Directly we can give the tag name instead of child colon directly we can give the tag name of it. Right, if you give slash star, it will identify all the childs. That means a particular child if I want to move input. Right, we can give the direct tag name which child we want, that will move slash directly single slash div. Right, by mistake, suppose if I give slash slash, what will happen? Right, see, if you sometimes we will confuse about it. Right, if you by mistakenly if you give slash slash, how many are identified? 19 tags are identified. But you may think only 5 childs are there. Why it is identified in 19 tags? Slash slash means child, inside childs also it will, nested childs also it will identify. That means it has a, see, div tag again it has a nested childs. Right, see, those are all will identify. Slash slash means all the childs of form tag. That means nested tags also, nested childs also it will identify. All the nested. So we must be very careful while using single slash, double slash. Single slash means only direct childs of the form tag. If you give double slash, all the nested childs also it will identify. All the nested childs also it will identify. That means under form, all the tags it will identify. Basically. Okay? But that must be very careful. Right, that is how we will identify parent and child. And then coming to siblings. Okay, siblings. Hmm. Okay, to identify siblings. Okay, fine. Form. Suppose if I give slash input, that means child. First we move to child. For input tag, all the below are child. Those are all siblings only. Right. For input tag, all below are siblings only. If I want to identify below siblings, now I am at the input tag. I want to identify all the below siblings. I want to identify all the below siblings for the input. That slash following hyphen sibling, following hyphen sibling colon colon star. If I give star means all the following. How many are there? 4 siblings. It has a 4 siblings. It will identify all the 4. Suppose if we have any unique thing, we can identify. Div means it will again identify 4. Right. Here we can give attributes also. Suppose the div tag which contain any unique attribute, we can also give attribute key and value. Right. We can give attribute key and value also. Not only tag name, we can also filter with by using either text or whatever. Right. We will use all those things we can use. Suppose above sibling. Currently input tag don't have any above siblings, only below siblings. Only below siblings. Right. If I want to identify above siblings, first we need to. Okay. Here what I will do. Okay. Input here. I will identify first div tags, all the form. Inside a form, identify the div. I want to identify one div. Okay. Maybe I will take this for a class. Okay. Class. Here div child tag will have a at the rate class. This div tag. Okay. Now I am at this child. Right, div. Now I want to identify above siblings. I want to identify above siblings. Right, below means following hyphen sibling. Above means preceding sibling. Preceding hyphen sibling colon star. If I give star means all the above siblings. How many are there? 4 are there. If I want specific, suppose I want only input. Right, input. Right, suppose I want all the divs. Div. Right, below siblings means following hyphen sibling colon tag name. Above sibling means preceding siblings. right? Preceding sibling. Mostly these four only we will use: parent, child. Parent, child have shortcuts, but the siblings don't have preceding siblings, following siblings. Right. Any doubts on these four? Right. If you don't have, if you are clear with that, we will move next. Okay, fine then. Suppose we will see ancestor and descendant also, but those are all very rarely we will use. We'll see. Right. Suppose form tag. I am at form. I want to find all the ancestors of the form. Right. All the ancestors of this form tag. Right. How to identify slash ancestor star. Okay, I am coming from the downwards surface. So ancestor means what? All the parent tags. Ancestor means all the parents. Suppose say I am here. What is the form parent tag? This div. Then this div, what is the parent? Suppose in the right, what I am doing in the here right side. See, 9 elements are identified. So these are all parent. So you can what happened? Okay, you can move to those 9 tags. We can see from the downwards we will go. Right, this is the first parent. This div what it has parent above. See, it will move to above. You can click arrow marks, it will move. Right, that parent tag, that parent again. Right, until all the parents it will move to HTML. What is the parent top one? HTML. Right, all the parents it will identify, that is ancestor. Suppose if you want a particular parent, you can give that tag name of the. Suppose I want HTML. Directly it will move to parent HTML. Right, ancestor means all the parents, parent of parent. Right, suppose form tag. If you see descendant, there is a descendant star. Spelling mistake. Okay, descendant, DN. What is the descendant means? If you observe here, 19 elements. 19 elements means form with all the childs of the form tag. All the childs of the form. Right, if you glue // same thing. Right, see 19. 19 tags are added. Descendant also, that means all the childs of this form tag. All the childs of descendant means all the childs of this form tag. It will identify descendant means all the childs. Nested childs also. Right, root childs, that means immediate childs, nested childs. Inside div tag again it has a one more div. It will identify all. If you want particular node, we can give the tag name of it. Suppose I want a label. Right, it will identify only labels. Right, ancestor means all the parent tags. Descendant means all the childs. This is about the XPath Axes. We will have a right XPath Axes, a parent, child, following sibling, preceding sibling, and then ancestor, descendant. These are the different right XPath accesses. XPath accesses. Right, very important. XPath accesses are very important if you want to move. Right, I will explain little bit one more complex. If we take any tables, right, very helpful in the tables concept. Let me any table. Okay, in the tables concept, we mostly will use those things. We'll see is there any table we will get. Okay, web table. Okay, this is the table, right? Suppose I want to click on. Suppose I want to click on edit button or delete button by using some unique here, either last name or by using first name or age or salary or department, anything. By using employee details, I want to identify either edit or delete. Right? How you will identify that locator for this? Right? By using age, we will take the age or age or name, anything is fine. Right? Age. Right. First, we need to identify the age. Based on that, we need to click on this edit button or delete button. Right? How to do that? Okay. Uh, First, inspect the age. Okay. What is the age? This is the text nodes. See, between the tag. Between the tag means that is a text. First, we need to identify this thing. How to identify text nodes? Slash slash div square brackets text function we have to use equal to single quotes. What is the age? 39. Right. By using the age, now we are here. Right. Now, based on this, I want to click on this edit button. Right. Based on this, I want to click on this edit button. How to click on it? Where is the, first of all, we have to see that where is that click button. Okay, where is the click button? Right here. See, these are all the following. These are all the siblings. All the divs are siblings. The delete and edit button are last div. At the last div. Right. Currently, we are at here. We need to identify below this edit and right edit and delete button are below. So how to identify below ones? By using following siblings. Right, under this div we have these things, edit and delete. We'll see that. First we will identify the below siblings. How to identify below siblings? Following hyphen sibling, colon div. Right, now we identified this one. We want this last one. Right, under this last one we will see. Right, it has a span tags. Right, what we will do? Div has a child, again we will filtering. Again we are filtering. We have identified 4 divs. Under 4 divs, again we are filtering span tags. Right? Span. But there is no direct span. This is not a direct child. Right? That is a nested child. So how to use? We can use the slash slash to identify the nested childs. Slash slash. Now 2 are identified. Right? Edit and delete button. Edit and if you don't understand, please ask. Right? Slash slash direct child. First we have identified the siblings. Then last sibling we have this one. That means we have to identify the span. This div has a span tags. We are identifying the div which has a spans. Right? We have identified spans. Now we have to filter again either delete or edit. I want to suppose click on the edit. Then again we can filter. What is the unique thing here? Title is there. Right? We can add the title at the rate title edit. Right? Right? Now we are here. See? Then delete. Suppose if we want delete, we can. Right? Like this, we can identify by using the any age, either age or last name. Suppose if we give, you can also use here instead of age, last name. Right? It will identify. Right? Either salary. By using one, by using any column, we can identify this another column. Right? Very important while handling the tables, the siblings concept. Okay, these are the siblings, how to handle it. Okay, preceding sibling. Alright, multiple conditions. We have seen these multiple conditions. Alright, either we can combine with and or. Right, and or. Then one more important thing, indexing. One more in indexing. Right, what is indexing? Sometimes we will identify, see in this case, suppose in this case, two spans are there. Or in this case, we will take a div case. Okay. Now we have a four divs. That means four siblings are there. Now I want to identify last one. Right. I want to identify last one. What we can do, we can use the index concept. Index means a slag, the square brackets. We can move either 1, 2, 3, 4. We can give the index. Suppose if I give 1, first child. Suppose if I give 2, second sibling, not child, sorry, sibling. Second sibling we are moving. Third, we want a last one. So 4. What is the 4? Right, we can give either last one. Suppose if I want to identify last one, I can give the 4. But sometimes we don't know. Either it is a fourth one, fifth one, sixth one. Right. For that, we have a function called last. Whatever it may be, it will identify last div. We can give the last div. But maybe, is there any first? We don't have any first. Only last. We have only last function. It will identify the last tag. Right. We have a div tags. How many? Four div siblings are identified. Four siblings are identified. Under this sibling, if you want not only siblings, if you have a child's, four childs are multiple childs are identified. I want to identify particular child. We can use index 1, 2. Right. We can use either first one, second one, third one. Or if you want to identify last, suppose last minus one. You want a last before one. We can use minus one, minus two. Right. Like this also we can do. Last function minus one, minus two. If you want to move to up, right, we can also use like this index. Right. And also we can use a position function also. Right. By using, I think, position function also, we can do it. Position equal to 1, suppose. First div, second div, right? Position also we can. Right. Position. We can use the position function. Right. Mostly we will use this index. Sometimes say directly it will not able to identify if we give square brackets like this. Here it is working fine. Sometimes it will not work. In that case, what we have to do? We have to start at the starting position. We have to open the bracket, and after div also we have to close entire thing. We have to close first. Right. Then we have to give the square brackets. If it is not working directly, if we give directly square brackets and index, sometimes it will not work. Then entire XPath close in the parenthesis. Then give the square bracket. It will work. It will. Okay, here that is only we have done. First matching. If we want a last matching, we can use the last function. And then position also we can use to identify that we can use. These are the different functions we have: position, last. Right, a dynamic XPath we have seen contains, right, contains with the text. This is contains with the attribute, contains with the text. Contains we can also include multiple. Right. By using under or also here we can use multiple contains we can. Right, in the tables concept. Right, in the tables also we can use text. These are all normal one only. Right, what are the, these are the different types of XPath and different things we have seen. Right, what is the advantages and disadvantages also it will have. Right, what is the advantages? We will have a text-based search. Right, another locators don't have text-based search. Right, and also directions. We can move forward direction, backward direction. Right, both the direction we can move up and down. Sideways also. Siblings concept is sideways. Left side, right side. Right, we can move up and down, parent and child. All the directions we can move in the XPath. Right, works with the dynamic like contains we can use, starts with, right, how to handle dynamic elements. Most of the time we will get interview questions. Right, by using contains, starts with, right, this normalized space. These functions we can use to identify dynamic locators. But what are the disadvantages? XPath involves DOM traversal. Right, it has to traverse all the elements. Suppose if you give / input, that means the entire DOM, it will search all the input. It will traverse one by one node internally. Right, we cannot see that. Internally, what will happen whenever we will execute our script? It will identify all the DOM nodes. Where is the input tag? Where is the input tag? It will traverse everything. Right, a little traverse slightly slower compared to CSS. Compared to CSS, XPath is slower. Right, difficult to read and maintain when locators are long. Sometimes, right, we have to write very long XPaths. Right, these are the some disadvantage. That means XPath will have a little slower. That we cannot say 1 or 2 XPath. If we have a thousands of XPath in application, definitely, right, our application will take longer time. Right. Sometimes an interview is asked which locator is the best one. Right. First, right. Last preference is the XPath. Right. We have 8 types of locators. Right. We have seen 8 types of locators. Last preference is the XPath. Right. When we will go for XPath, you want to identify text nodes. You want to use the directions, upward, move, forward direction, backward direction. Right. Then only we will go for XPath. Otherwise, we will not go. Because it is a slow, because execution will become very slow. First one is ID. Right. Fastest locator is the ID. Then name. Then CSS. Right. Mostly we will use ID, name, CSS. Right. Class name. Then last preference is the XPath. Right. Only specific things we will go for XPath. Right. Those are the some of the advantages and disadvantages. Okay, fine. These are all the different conditions we have seen, all the basic concepts, advanced one. Right, XPath access, very important. XPath access, parent, child, siblings concepts. And then or condition or indexing and a dynamic locators. Right, anyone has any doubts on the XPath? Any doubts, anyone?
Hello?
Yeah, yes, please.
Yes, so for our reference, could you please share the document?
Yeah, document will share. I will upload the video, just comment on that. Right, provide your
Yes.
Gmail ID. I will provide access to that. Okay,
Yeah, sure, sure, sure.
yeah, definitely.
I have just a minute, sir. I have been asked in an interview for an expert. So could
Mm-hmm,
you please open Amazon website?
mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, there's such just a minute. Such mobiles, sir.
Mhm. Okay.
Wait. On the left side of the page,
Mhm.
here brands are there, right? Like that, there will be some mobile brands are there.
This one brands. Mhm.
Yeah, under mobile brands, some mobile brands are like just like that, Samsung, Poco,
Mhm.
Redmi.
Okay.
So he used to write ask it to write the XPath. Upon giving dynamic value, it has to select particular brand.
Right.
Is it
Suppose
possible,
here
sir?
also. Yeah. Suppose see, in this case also, suppose if I give Disney,
Yeah.
right, I want to select this checkbox.
Okay.
Okay, if I give this name, right, if I give this name, I want to select this checkbox. Suppose
Hmm.
I want. Okay, now how to see? Right, we have to use that siblings concept only here also. First, based on the text, Disney is the text, right? First, we need to identify that text. Where is the text? It is inside a span.
Yes.
All right. If you identify span, above one is the checkbox. Right. Our goal is I want to click on this checkbox. Right.
Okay.
Based on this, directly we cannot identify. So based on by using this label, I want to click on identify this checkbox. First, we identify this. Right. How to identify text node /
Uh,
span
Span
text.
text equal to.
Right. We will give the text. If there are any spaces, use the normalized space. See here,
Hmm.
identified two are there. Again,
Slash
this one
parent.
is there. I think above one is also there. See, above one also. That means it is identified recently. Whatever we click, it is created automatically one more. So that's why it is created to one. So if you want to filter it again, we have to use again that also we have to change it. We have to write more. We have to identify what is the recent one, what is the brands. We have to select under brands. So what we will do, we have to write a little bit complex. Right under this we have. So we need to identify this one, then under this we want to select. Then first / div id equal to this one. Right now see, under this brands we are selecting span which has a text Disney. Right now we are here. Now our goal is we want to click on this above checkbox. Right, how to move? This is a sibling. Right, I
Hmm.
want to how to move to the sibling. If you want to
Slash
move to sibling, above sibling,
slash
preceding, right, preceding hyphen sibling
such that
colon
the scope of.
div. Right, it has only one sibling, so directly we got. Now it has a suppose directly I think input. If you want to click on, sometimes directly if you click on div, it will work. Suppose if it is not working, we have to move to input. That means child inside again. How to move to child? Slash. Right, because it is a nested, not a direct child input. This is a nested one. / input. Right, we will move here. Right, you can click on. By using the label, we can just you need to change this label dynamically. We need to pass this dynamic. Suppose tomorrow you want to select this one, just we need to change it. That's it. Right, we can write one method and then select the brand. Then
Mhm.
right, we can write. You know how to write that one, right? Suppose if we take a this is the class. Okay. So suppose here what we will do, we'll write a suppose private void select brand. You will send a what is the brand. Okay. Then just here we will write a string XPath equal to something. Right, string dot brand, we can, what is the XPath here, we can view. Otherwise, simple way, if we are, this is the somewhat little bit, we can use the functions to change it, or directly you can use the double quotes, that XPath. Right here, what is the, this one is the dynamic one. This one we need to replace. How to change? Here we can use double quotes plus plus.
Some variable
Here you
value
need to
cannot.
pass the variable, whatever you are passing the brand, just
Yeah.
change it. That's it.
Okay, got
This
it.
XPath, this XPath you can use it direct driver dot find element by dot XPath. Right, like this we can. Right, anything we can identify on the web. Right. Just we should know these concepts only. Only whatever we discussed, only siblings concept. If you know, you can identify anything.
So even though at the time I was not able to write it, even though I have aware of this thing, XPath
Right.
Axes.
We
So
have
since
to
he asked,
practice it.
yeah, since he asked for dynamically, I got confused. The,
Right. And now you got this idea, right? How to identify.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So one more
Just
question. Yeah,
yes.
if in this page, if I want to fetch all the mobiles which has a price greater than 15,000, so then how can we?
Mm, 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 mm.
Is
Something
it possible?
price. I think so. We can, one thing code wise we can easily do it.
Yeah,
But the XPath also there might be
somewhere.
some functions. I think in XPath I didn't see any function, but okay, let me check. Okay, we'll ask ChatGPT. I think it's possible.
Mhm.
Mm, 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 mm. Filter elements based on. Okay, want based on what? You want price. Okay, then how to write export. Okay, we'll see what it will give.
Mhm.
Suppose okay, we have these prices like this. We want to filter it. See, we can use greater than. But
Okay.
here, see something little bit. We have to change this. This function will return a string. Right, we have to keep it inside a number function and
Maybe
then
type.
greater than. Right, we'll try. Is it work or not? First, we need to identify all the products. See, little bit complex. First, we need to identify all the products. Right. First, we need to identify the products. How to identify little size? Okay. Okay. First, we need to identify these products. Okay. List 30. Okay. List items. Okay. I think div list items. Okay. We'll see. Control F slash slash div at the rate roll equal to list. Okay. I can see. Mhm. I think some other things also identifying. We have to see correctly how to identify these sections or something. Here also match. We have to filter out that also. Okay, this is the tag. This is the root tags. The list item. Oh, okay, list roll list item. Okay, what else it is? Inside also it is matching. Okay, fine. Okay, I think inside what it is matching inside list item. Okay, here also role is list item.
If there is any card symbol like that, you can use it.
Correct. We have to filter. Is there any other thing it contains? Search result. Maybe right. We can use this as starts with one more
Yeah,
attribute. We can add on the okay data cell one widget equal to this one, but we have to use the starts with function. Starts hyphen with at the okay. Now it is identifying. Okay, perfect.
Mm,
Okay, like this, we have to identify. Our next goal is we have to identify again this price. Very complex. Okay, this price again, it has a INR, right? Maybe I don't think it will work or not. Actually, it has a string, right? If it has a string, I think it will not work out. We have to, in that case, we have to get all this in the code itself. We have to remove and identify.
yeah, we can trim and
Right, because it has a INR, I don't think it will work through Locator.
in the ChatGPT they it have given something number, right? It is
No,
just
that
like
has given. If it has a only number, right, then only it will work.
oh okay, got it.
But it has a character, right? It has a
Mm.
character, so I think it will not work. It will not work out. Only if it has a see, tags will have only like this. I think it has a semicolon, something dots, all those things, right? It will
Yes.
not. It will not work out those things. I think. Then see, here also they have given something. See, we have advanced thing. We can
Mm.
translate. Translate. I think it is replacing. Right? If we have a dollars like this, we can translate those things. That means we are replacing basically. Right? Little bit. We can replace those things, and okay, we can do that. Then we have to replace. Okay, but first of all, we have to identify this price tag, right? This is a little bit complex then. Class price. That's how where it is actually. Slash at the rate class equal to price. Okay. Okay, is it identity? Okay, whichever has a price it is showing it is able to. Okay. But here problem is we have to translate. Right.
Okay, I will check it.
Yeah. Just to try it. I think it will work. But we have to this translate and number function we have to use.
Sure.
Right, we have to remember. At least we can tell to the interview these functions so that right we can. You will also okay. He has some idea, but these things very rare, very rare people. Right, 1% of the people also. I don't think so. Very difficult to remember these functions and use it also. If any issues are there, right, it is very difficult to identify in the locator. It's better to do it in the code itself so that we will control over it.
Yes.
Right, but still, if they want to write in XPath only, then we can remember. We have to remember these things. Right, what translate will do, what number will do. Translate will replace characters. We can replace some characters with space. Number will convert string to
Number.
that means string format number to normal number.
Mm. Just like typecasting.
Right. Right. Okay. Fine. Anyone else? Any other questions or anything?
Nothing, sir. Sir, just to open Teams one time.
Mm-hmm.
Teams. Oh, my name was. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Fine then. Yeah. Tomorrow we'll see CSS. Just
Yeah,
practice it the expert. Yeah. Thanks for joining. Thank you.
yeah, sir. Share it, sir. We will comment down over the video.
Yeah. Sure. Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.